Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video we are going to create this dynamic UI and this beautiful UI, and I am going to share you a very massive trick which you don't know, no matter if you are a beginner, if you are expert, and if you are already working. Okay, I am 100% sure after watching this video your whole experience going to be changed. Okay, so first subscribe this channel, okay, and like this video and comment down below and write this video is helpful, because there are lots of developer like me. They are finding how to build a responsive UI, how to build a server driven UI. They don't know about this, and nobody, trust me, nobody going to teach you all these things. So I have created a whole playlist and we are going to cover 7 projects throughout that playlist, and all going to be dynamic UI throughout Kotlin Xml, and there are tons of new technologies coming out there. We are going to use all of that. Okay, so subscribe this channel. In intro I can't explain you everything, so you must have to watch this video till the end, and after watching this video your whole experience going to be changed. I am 100% sure for that. So guys, as you can see here, we are going to start this project from scratch. I have chosen a empty template, and you can choose according to your preference, and I named my project as a furniture app, and after that I choose API level 21, and you can choose whatever you like and hit finish button, and after that it will start syncing some important files which is important to build our Android application. So let's wait for that, and after that we'll start developing our Android application. So guys, for this project I am going to create I am going to follow single activity architecture. So for that I am going to create a new nav folder inside my resource folder. So for that I am going to click on resource and click on new, and after that you have to select Android resource directory to create that folder. Okay, so after clicking on that I am going to choose navigation and click OK, and I have to create a file inside that. So I am going to create on that also, and I am going to name that Mvvm, and it will ask you to add some dependency, because this dependency going to be responsible for adding a navigation component in our project. Okay, and after that we will be our project will be eligible for following the single activity architecture in our application. Okay, so as you can see we have three pages in our application. First one is onboarding, and second one is home page, and after that third one is detail page. Okay, so I am going to create 3 fragments for that. So for that I need to organize my folders first. So I create a fragment folder, because it is very important to organize your files. So after that I am going to create 3 fragments for my application. As I show you, we have 3 fragments. First one is onboarding, and second one is home, and third one is description. Okay, so when a user click any of item, then he navigate to the detail page. Sorry. Okay, so for that you just have to click that plus button and create new destination, and after that you will get your fragment ready. Okay, so I'm going to repeat on that things once again. You have to click that plus button and create new destination, and you have to choose a blank fragment. Okay, and after that you can simply rename, you can give any name of your fragment, and you will got your fragment ready. Okay, so as you can see I am following the same step for creating every fragment. So if you face any issue, you can simply slow down this video, or you can go back and watch again this procedure to create. And after that there are few steps I have to do. First one is to clear all the boilerplate code from my fragment.kt class, because Android Studio by default generate some boilerplate code, and second one is, as you can see here, I am going to remove all these things. Means I don't need this text view and the frame layout in my application. I simply use constant layout because it is more flexible to building responsive UI. So I'm going to do the same step for all my pages, as you can see here. Okay, and if it is very important to be comfortable in constant layout, because if you use linear layout and all this, then your layout never going to be a responsive layout, and you face a lot of difficulties to create a responsive UI. Okay, and after that I'm going to simply remove these boilerplate code from my onboarding and home and product detail page. Okay, so as you can see here, you can simply follow this step and you will get idea which code we have to remove. You don't need to remove every code from our fragment.kt class. Okay, and after that I'm going to simply enable data binding in my project. So for that I'm going to use build feature tag. Okay, so if you want to do, you can follow these things also. So I'm going to enable data binding and view binding. Okay, you will got this idea what is data binding and view binding in a practical manner to the forward video, means further videos means to say, means and after that you have to click on sync button, and your project is now eligible to enable, means you are now ready to go with data binding. And after that it is very important to organize your files and folder, because if you don't organize that you are following a very bad habit. So as if you follow this means video till the end, you will get a very strong foundation to organize your folders. As you can see here, I am creating folders according to my pages. Okay, so for home page, for home page I have created a home, and for onboarding I have created onboarding folder, and for detail, product detail, I have created a detail folder. Okay, after that I have to create some folders inside that folder, because there are a lot more files to means I'm going to create many different files for every fragment. Okay, I am also going to create a separate view model for my every fragment. Okay, so for that I have to organize these things. Okay, so follow with me because it is very important. Okay, so simply create a view model folder, or as you can see here, I have created a page folder for that, for storing all my pages. And I'm going to create another directory which is my view model, and this view model folder going to contain a home view model page. Okay, home view model class, sorry. And I'm going to follow this step for all my pages, means all my pages folder. Okay, so it is a very good practice to manage your files and folders, because if you go for a larger company, then you will get the same architecture in that company also. So if you do it like that, then you are not going to face any difficulties while managing files and folders. Okay, so I start moving my means classes inside my folder. After that I simply start data binding, means I can simply start data binding for my classes and files. Okay, so firstly I'm going to start with my onboarding. Okay, and I have also created all my view models, as you can see here. Okay, because it is important, and I am going to do all my rough things like creating class or all these things in starting, and after that we'll start implementing all our business logic inside that folder, means inside view model, or means every view model, as you can see. So I simply create all my view models for my detail fragment and for my home page also, and I'm going to do these things with my onboarding also. Okay, and after that I need to bind my data with my Kotlin, means with my fragment.kt, means onboarding.kt, home.kt and detail.kt. So for that, if you want to enable data binding, I will show you. Just a minute, I am going to close all these things, and after that I am going to open my onboarding page first, and I'm going to start a data binding. So to enable, as you can see here, I just simply open my onboarding page, and to I'm going to simply change this to constraint layout. Okay, and click alt enter, and it will ask you to enable data binding. Okay, so for that, go to that section where you enable, means where your constraint layout tag is started, and simply alt enter, and you are ready to go now. Okay, and I am going to initialize my XML file to onboarding.kt, because to binding that kt file we have to do this. Okay, so as you can see here, I am going to name my class, means I have simply named my fragment onboarding.xml to a very simple name for binding, as you can see here, because it is a best practice to bind your data with your Kotlin file. Okay, so you can means sort your fragment XML file name throughout that procedure. Okay, so I have created a private binding. Okay, and I am going to bind that XML file with my Kotlin. So as you can see here, I need to means import that inflator, and I'm going to simply going to initialize my binding. Okay, and I have to return a view for my on create view class, means function. So I'm going to simply return binding.root, because it will the root will be going to return the view. Okay, the view which is fragment onboarding XML view. Okay, and I am going to create on view created for every fragment, because in that method I simply do my business logics. I never disturb the upper one, means on create view. Okay, and I want to simply destroy when this fragment will be destroyed, or this fragment not present in the Android application. Android application means if user not present on that page, then this page will be going to be destroyed, and it will recreate when user revisit on that page. Okay, so I'm going to simply generate a theme for my application, because as you can see, we need to design our theme as a yellow with yellow color. Okay, so for that I choose material design, because there is a tool which will generate our means custom color automatically, and after that we simply need to download that XML file and import in our project. So for that I have to click on custom, because in custom we got option to change or design our application theme. So I'm going to choose primary color for now, and I simply I don't have color code for that design, so I'm going to I'm going to use my sixth sense to design the color, and I choose a little bit yellowish, and after that actually I'm simply guessing the color. Okay, so I think this will be okay. Yeah, this will be okay, I think, because it will look similar to our design. Okay, so this will be going to be work, I think. So now I just simply need to export that file for our Android application, and I'm going to choose Android. Okay, and after that it will give us a zip file, so we have to extract that. You can use any software. I am using 7-zip, and after that extracting that zip, you just simply need to copy all these files and paste it in your Android Studio, okay, in resource folder. Okay, as you can see here, I simply overwrite all, and it will going to replace all predefined code, okay, which we don't need. We need this newer one. Okay, so I just simply replace all this, and after that I'm going to design my layout, onboarding layout. Okay, so we have three things. Means we have a image, we have the image name and the description, and we have a button called getting started. Okay, so here as you can see here, if you do it like that, you got some issue to fix this issue. You just simply need to replace this name with the previous one, because that previous one got automatically bind with our manifest, so we have to change that also. So after that I take a button, and I got stuck over there, because it will not giving the actual color. But suddenly I think that let's design it roughly for the first time. Okay, and when we are ready to we are ready with all our pages, then we simply design our page. Okay, so I start designing every page. So I choose a material button, because it will give many properties in the latest material design library. Suppose we want to corner, or we want to change background or anything, we can simply do it in a few attributes. We don't need to create any drawable for that. So guys, okay, as you can see here, I have set up my theme file. Okay, and let's make this button constant, means match parent for now. And actually I want to test I want to test our theme if it is working or not. Okay, so all widgets configure themselves according to our theme, but in my case it will not doing, this behavior is something different. So let's check it on the official site of material design. Okay, and after that, if we need to move further, then we will proceed further and start designing our so let's design first our UI, and after that we will set up our theme. Okay, so let's pick an image, because in the onboarding page there are one image, okay, and title and the description and a button. Okay, so I was actually looking for image for my actually I want to test my image if it is looking exactly like my onboarding design or not. Okay, so I was searching furniture image on the Google, but somehow I did not get anything. Okay, so I was still trying. So guys, let's leave it as it is, and we need to set up some more classes first, like data binding classes. So for that I need to create a package for that. Okay, so let's create it first, and the name of the package is custom binding. Okay, and with that means inside that folder I am going to create a class called custom binding. Okay, because this class going to be contain, means I am going to create this same class for every page. Okay, and I am going to provide binding, means I am going to provide the data to that class, and I am going to bind that data throughout that class to the our XML file. Okay, so I inherit a observable class which is come from data binding. And when you inherit that class, you got these two methods: add on property change callback and remove property change callback. Okay, so these are very important classes. We will discuss about that further. Okay, and I have to attach this listener, means I have created a listener which is a property change registry, and I have to bind that listener to that two method, because all these things are going to be observe our data and set our data in a real time. Okay, so if you are not doing like that, then your data, if you set any data to your activity or means activity XML or any fragment XML, then that will not going to be set in real time. You need to refresh your page to get and set your data. Okay, so for that this is a very important procedure. These things are responsible to get data and set our data in real time. Okay, so there is an annotation called at the rate get bindable, and after that we will bind, means we will create a variable, and throughout that variable we are going to observe, means we are going to set data on that variable, and after that we are going to observe that data to our activity. So as you can see here, I have created onboarding image which will going to accept string that is nullable also, and I am going to set a getter, and after that actually I was doing wrong, because this will be going to set. Okay, and that set returns some value, and we will bind that value to yeah, as you can see here, this is right one. Okay, so if you are doing like that, then you are doing wrong also. So you need to use this set method that will be going to return value in that parameter, and after that we can bind the field equals to value. Okay, and after that we need to notify to that variable what data coming inside that onboarding image. Okay, what data coming in the set method. Okay, so this will simply pass that data to that variable in real time, and that will going to be reflect in our activity. But I was facing to getting a class called bindable. Okay, that is binding adapter actually. Okay, because that is a very important class. Without that you cannot perform data binding. Okay, throughout custom data binding, because it will going to be contain all our variables in their folder and files, and after that he will give us that variable inside our listener. So for that, if you are also not getting that data, so you need to you can do whatever you want. You can just clean. Sometimes it's come when you clean your project, or you can simply rebuild your project, or you need to invalidate and cache your data. So I'm not going to skip that part. You have to watch this because I was facing a lot of difficulties. Means I want to let you know that how this procedure going to be happened. Okay, because somehow if you are working on a real time project, then you also got stuck, and in the comment section you can start abusing me, and you are fake and you are not show all steps. Okay, so you can wait. So guys, let's check it once again, and let's see if I got the BR adapter file or not. Okay, so I think I'm not getting means I still not getting that BR adapter, so I have to invalidate and cache my file, because after that I will get I think my BR adapter class, because it is very important. So you have to do this, and I'm going to skip that part because this will going to be take a long time to Gradle building procedure and many more things. So after invalidate cache, let's try it once again. So listener dot notify changes, and in this I'm going to pass this. After that I'm going to try, means I will try to get that file, and yeah, I got that file. Okay, and don't worry about it will not suggest your exact variable, so you just have to copy and paste after that, and when you rebuild your project, then it will create that variable inside VR file, so you don't have to worry about. And I am going to follow the same procedure for all my widgets, like description text view or the title slogan text view, you can say. And I am also going to create a binding adapter for all my images to bind image data. And here you can see I was trying to give a very perfect name to my variable, because this is a very important procedure in Android app development. Okay, so be conscious about that and give a very perfect name to your variable that will going to be remind for every time in your mind. Because if you don't do it like that, and if you give a b c variable, then you will get lots of difficulties to developing your application. Okay, so I'm going to create another getter setter for, means I'm going to create all getter setter for my all widgets. Okay, and you have to follow the same procedure to create your bindable. You don't have to worry about it will not suggest you any, means it will your variable not coming in suggestion, so you don't have to worry about. I think all my variables going to accept a string, means all going to be contain a string, so that's why I use a string data type. And I'm going to set this value again, field equals to value. And I am also going to be attach that field to my listener. Br dot and that variable name. Okay, again you don't have to worry about it if it is not suggesting you your variable name. And after that I am going to create a generic function for binding binding data to my image, and this generic function I am going to use a lot, and this will be going to be same for every image to binding images, binding image data to my image view. Okay, so I am creating a extension function. You can see I take image widgets, image view, means I directly call that image view dot bind, and I am going to accept a URL from that. Okay, and to binding data, mean to showing data to that image view, I need a glide library. Means I am using glide library because this suits me. Okay, and you can use coil library also to bind your data, because if you don't do it like that, you can you have to write lots of boilerplate code to bind your data. Means you have to set data for every image, like glide.width, and you have to pass your image view. So you don't have to do that things like that. You can create a generic function or a bindable adapter as I have created in my project, and you just have to pass that, means you just have to call that variable inside your XML file, and after that you are ready to go. You need to just bind once, means you just need to bind once means you just have to call that glide.width at once, and this will going to be work for your whole project image view. Okay, so there are lots of good practices you have to follow, and this procedure one of them. So guys, let's wait for the Gradle building procedure, and if you still don't have subscribed my channel, you have to subscribe, because I am going to provide best content on this channel. Means I'm going to upload best content for you guys. So you have to subscribe and press that bell icon to get notified when I upload any videos on my channel. Okay, so after doing Gradle building procedure, I can simply call that glide.width and I'm going to pass the context for that variable, means in width, and I'm going to pass means I'm going to call that load method, which is coming from the glide library, and I pass simply URL, and after that I'm going to bind my data to that image view. So I think I'm done with this procedure, but it's looking like I have to call this custom binding for everywhere. So I need a suitable place for that. So later on I'm going to cut this whole function and paste in I'm going to create a new file for that, and after that I will paste that function inside that, because I don't want to call that class again and again for the single function. Okay, so to use, if we do it like that, means if we cut that function inside a file, then you don't have to worry about calling any class to any XML file. You can directly call that function and bind your data to that image view. So I'm going to do exactly like that, and as you can see it's start giving error in our BR. Okay, so you don't have to worry about, you can simply leave it like that, and it will not going to throw any error in your project. Okay, so now it's time to cut this from here, and I need to create a file for that, and this will be going to utility file, because I am going to use this function for binding every image. Okay, so I'm going to create a util package, and inside that util package I am going to choose a file, and I'm going to name that file to utils. Okay, because util or onboarding, you can give whatever name, it's not going to be very mandatory. So after creating that file, my system is a little bit slow and laggy, sorry for that, and I'm going to paste my function over there, and now I am ready to call that function wherever I want. Okay, because it is now global. Okay, so we don't have to care about that things. Okay, so actually I was worried about why these things show some error. So trust me, you don't have to worry about, and let's begin with our layout designing procedure. Okay, so for building as I show you, or you can get reference from our image, that is design image of our project. Okay, so I'm going to take a reference from that, and I'm going to start designing. Okay, and guys, I want to say you something, that I'm going to design very roughly, and when we are done with our coding procedure now, then at last we are going to focus on the designing part, because there are lot more things to do before designing part. Okay, so I'm going to design very roughly, means I'm going to take a image view, text view, or description text view, and a button, and I'm going to leave it like that. I'm not going to focus right now in designing, because a designing procedure going to take a lot of time, and we have to do lot more things. So I'm going to finish my coding work first, and after that I focus on. So as you can see, I have created a variable. The name of the variable is binding, and I am going to call that custom binding. Okay, so press Ctrl and space to get suggestion and hit enter, and after that you will get all the package, means you can now eligible to access all the variable from that custom binding class. Okay, so I'm going to do it like that. So Control space, if you press Control space, then you will get a suggestion for your file, and after that you are ready to go. You just have to import your file in type. Okay, so I will show you that procedure, and the reason behind not skipping that procedure is to show you how you can face all this issue, and how you can fix all of these things, because it is very important. And I am also creating that tutorial for beginner also. Okay, so you can watch, because you need to watch, I think, because it is very important. So as you can see here, I have called that binding function, that image binding function, directly in my image view, and now I am going to bind that means bind that image URL to that function. So for passing that URL, I need to annotate that with @ and curly braces. This is the data binding procedure. Okay, so I am going to call that URL from my data binding class. Okay, so let's design first, and after that we will bind everything. So this will take a little bit time, I think. Okay, so we have three things: image view and a text view. So as you can see here, I was trying to bind the text view with my custom binding. Okay, that class I have created earlier. So I am successfully bind for the title, and I am also going to bind that description. So I think I forgot to create a description for that. No, I have created, I think. So after this, I am going to import my view model to create a function that is responsible to travel from one fragment to another fragment, and that function going to be called when user press on get started button. Okay, so for that I am going to create that function inside my view model. You can also create that function your custom binding class. You can use whatever you want, but I am going to create that function inside my view model. Okay, so let's now create that function here. Get start, and inside that I am going to accept something which is view. okay, because we need to pass the view. You can make a extension function with view to click on that button, and it will, when you bind that function with image click, sorry, button click, it will automatically pass the view to that function. Okay, you don't have to worry about to passing view in the parameter. It will take automatic, means this procedure going to be done in the background. You don't have to worry about. Okay, so as you can see here, I have simply called on click and called that binding function inside on the on click. Okay, and I'm not going to pass any view inside, but I have to import view. Okay, and now let's actually constrain our widgets and views to each other according to our design. Guys, constraint layout is a very flexible layout. You can place your widgets anywhere you want. Okay, and I am also going to import SDP library, because this will make our layout more responsive, because it will deal with the DP and SDP for our widgets. Okay, so when you use SDP for your widgets, then that SDP going to be look out our user screen, and it will fit according to the need, because we use SDP in our text view, and to use SDP we cannot use that SDP to our any widgets. Okay, so for that we have a library, so you can import that library, which is very helpful for us. I'm going to thank you that guy who built that library. Okay, and after that simply import that, and I'm going to use this library lot. So you can see here we have an image, slogan title and slogan description, and yeah, we are done with our onboarding part. And as I say you that, as I told you that I'm going to design this part, means this layout, very roughly, and I'm going to design all the three screens very roughly, because it will take time. Okay, so I am only going to only going to design how much we need for now. Okay, I'm not going to design it completely. Okay, and after that I'm going to set some images to my means I'm going to set some text for my slogans and all these things. So I'm going to call that class inside the constructor in view model constructor to get that variable. Okay, so for that I'm also in future, means in further videos, in upcoming sessions, I'm going to use Dragger hilt, okay, for this project, and that Dragger hilt going to be help me a lot to bind or because this that Dragger hilt make us safe to generate a view model factory for this view model. Okay, and if you don't use Dragger hilt, then you have to create a view model factory for that, and we have to call that view model, means all this procedure going to be very hectic. So throughout that Dragger hilt we are being safe, that's what I mean to say, we being safe, and we don't have to write that much code. Okay, so as you can see here, I have simply bind all these things, and I am going to initiate, means that init function. If you learn Kotlin, then you learn that init function going to be called at the first time when the activity, means that the class instance going to be create. Okay, no matter which function call first or which function going to be last call, this init function going to be called first, and all the things going to be happened first. Okay, so I hope you got the point, and let's constant add thing. Okay, so I follow best practices for my layouts. I'm not going to give any padding or margin, means because it will make our layout not responsive. Okay, because we cannot think we are designing our application for a specific device. Okay, so we are going to give padding if we need, or if we are not going to give any padding if we not need. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm trying to constrain all my widgets, and you have to do it like that. I know the first screen is taking too much time, because this is very important, and I want to make you understand how these things worked. Okay, so as you can see here, it will take static height. If you not set your image wrap content, then it will going to be take static height. Okay, so for image we can take a static height, because we don't know what is the actual ratio of the image, means how much space it will going to be taking. Okay, so you have to specify a height for your image. Okay, and after that I'm going to call my view model inside my fragment. Okay, to calling I need my dragger hilt dependency. Okay, so for that I'm going to get that dependency from my project. Okay, so I have created a cocktail app. If you don't seen that video now, then you have to see it, means you have to watch that video also, because this project is also going to be a API based project, and that project already created on the base of API. Okay, we are fetching data from the remote server and setting that data to the Android application. So for a beginner, this is very important, and you have to do, I think you have to do it, and I think you should watch that video, because that video clear all your doubts to fetching your data from the server. Okay, and I have also follow Mvvm architecture to building that project, and I am also going to follow the Mvvm architecture for this also. So if you don't know how Mvvm work, then you should watch my all videos, means all videos. If you don't consider watching all videos, then you can simply go through that video, and you got a basic idea to building a application in Mvvm architecture. Okay, and don't worry, I'm going to provide all this dependency inside my blog section, or I'm also going to provide my this project inside my GitHub repository. So if you consider to clone this project, if you can, because it's going to be open source, and I am also going to create 7 more project for that. So if you think you can clone that project and use it inside your project. Okay, but I must say that please create that project with your hand. You can watch this video for your reference, and you can also clone that project from my GitHub repository for reference. But if you do it, means if you code with your hand and with your machine, then I think that will going to impact more in your experience, and you can say I'm a hands-on Android developer. Okay, so for that actually I'm done with means Gradle part, and I'm going to import some more libraries, and after that we are ready to go. And this library going to be reduce lot code, means lots of code from my project, means it will reduce and optimize our code, because we don't have to write all these things, and this code will generate that code automatically inside, means in background, and we don't have to care about too. Okay. So if we need to pass any parameter this in anywhere, then it will automatically do it for us. And if we pass any parameter, like if we in Dragger health we to provide a dependency, we use @inject. Okay, so that inject will provide the constructor, means it will provide automatically dependency for our constructor in any constructor, so you don't have to worry about. Okay, and this will make our things more simpler, more simpler. And if you facing difficulty to learning OOPSna, then this dependency will fix your all issue. Okay, and you can make a very complex project throughout that library. Okay, so I think I'm done with the Gradle importing procedure, and let's wait for Gradle building, and after that we are ready to go. Okay. Now our Gradle is built successfully, so let's provide a dependency for our project. So for that I am going to create a DI package, and in that DI package I am going to create a base application. Okay, and all dependency will be going to provide throughout that base application. Okay, so for that I have to create, and after that, after creating that base class, I need to provide that means I have to bind that base class to my manifest. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm going to I'm going to call my view model throughout that means I can now use that dependency injection over there. And you can see, if you have worked with Android now, then you must know, means you should know, or you can imagine that how this view model, means view model binding code is, and what we have to do to bind that view model to our activity. Okay, or fragment also. And you can see we can now do all that stuff in a single line. Okay, so now you can imagine that how this library impact us, and how much code reduce it from our project. Okay, we don't have to care about creating a repository or data model and data binding provider, and all these classes are now we don't need. And now I'm going to simply inject that view model with @inject, and there is an annotation called @hilt view model. To provide any view model dependency, you need to use that, and after that you need to annotate that fragment @android entry point also. Okay, and now it's time to provide a dependency. So I'm going to create a new package for providing a dependency, and in that folder I'm going to create a base application. Okay, and after that I will bind that base application to my manifest. And as I told you, that base application is responsible for providing dependency, and we have to attach that base application to our manifest. Okay, so I'm going to name that base application. Okay, you can name that base application whatever you want, and we have to inherit application in our base class. So now I have to give the file name, so I'm going to give that file name main application. main application. Okay, and I'm going to inherit a class called application, okay, which is coming from Android app. Okay, and I'm going to annotate these with Android hilt Android app, and bind this class to the manifest. Okay, and there we go. We are now ready to provide dependency for our classes with a single annotation called @inject. Okay, so we are now ready to go, and and now as you can see here, that file is collapsing, overlapping with each other. So I create another folder, retrofit. Later on we need this file, but for now we don't need this folder. So I just created we don't need it now. Okay, let's leave it like that and move forward. So slowly and gradually we are done with our onboarding page. We don't have to care about design right now, and we are going to follow the same for all fragment. We are not going to focus on right now to binding the data and other stuff. Okay, so let's create our another fragment and design it. We are now going to focus our home page. Okay, so I think everything will be okay, and here I think one binding left. Okay, so I think we need to get our image string. I think I forgot about that, so let's create one that. Okay, and you already know how to do all these things. If you don't know and you forget, you can go back and watch these things. Okay, I have explained, I think in previous section. Okay, so I think we are done now, and now let's design our home page. Okay, so for now I think this video is going to be very long. So what do you think? I'm going to break this thing in 3 section. Okay, 3 or 4 or 5 section, because if this video going to be very large, then you also got boring, it doesn't make sense. Okay, so I'm going to finish my onboarding page, and after that in the next video we are going to design our home page. Okay, so yeah, we are done now for the onboarding, and if you wish, you can watch these things from the scratch also, how I have done all of these things. Okay, and trust me, if you don't know how these things work, because I know I have not explained it in a deep manner. So if you want to learn these things, then you can comment down below, or you can follow me on my Instagram. Okay, and ping me, and if you need a brief tutorial all these things about dependency injection or Kotlin, how Kotlin work, then you can watch my video, or I will create for you, or you can got lots of video on YouTube for on that topic. Okay, so yeah, that's all for this video, and if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe and hit that bell icon, so when I upload the next section for this video, then you will get. Thank you so much. Bye.